Alrighty then, so in this video I'm going to be showing what I think is a better method of 3D printing spools, and I was prompted to do this video after seeing various pictures of people using FDM printers to 3D print spools, specifically for electronics experiments, i.e. you've got a spool and you're winding some copper wire around it to make an inductor or to make a transformer, for example. And I saw there were kind of varying results with the print quality, and I think people are basically printing them wrong, usually printing them as one part instead of two or three. And so I'm going to be showing probably the most common method for printing a spool, and also my preferred method. Just going over the basics of the spool design that I'm using here. Nothing fancy, flange at the bottom, flange at the top, and a cylinder down the middle. And I also have a hole through the cylinder, and that is essentially to save on material cost, and also it's helpful to have a hole through the middle to assist you when you're winding whatever material onto your spool. In terms of the flange design, I like to have a square flange shape with just filleted ends, rather than the traditional round or circle shape, simply because when you place a spool on a table, it's not going to roll off. So probably the most common method, which I call the through-hole method, is to divide your spool model up into two parts, whereby you have the flange and the cylinder, or the bottom flange and the cylinder as one part, and the top flange is the second part. And as shown in the display grid here is how you would actually print it on your printer. And after it's completed, you would then glue the inside of the top flange onto the end of the cylinder, and that can work effectively in many situations. However, I found in practice, when you're winding material such as copper wire onto the cylinder, the outward pressure of the windings will push against the flanges, and unless you have a lot of surface area on the inside of your flange, the part tends to pop off, even with strong glue. So this method does work, and it's fairly common, but it isn't the preferred method, at least in my belief. The second method of 3D printing a spool that I'm going to show here that I prefer is the split method. And as the name suggests, you split the model down the center, down the middle, in such a way that you have an effective joint that can be easily glued and positioned, or easily positioned and glued, and doesn't suffer from the limitations of the through-hole method. So the first thing we need to do is to construct a face on the cylinder upon which we can actually draw the split design. So first you just want to make sure that the origin is in place. You'll see why. So the origin is being shown, and you'll see why later. So go up to construct, and then we want tangent plane. As the comment says, it creates a construction plane as tangent to a cylinder or a conical face. So click that, and we need to select the face of the cylinder, and then next we select the reference plane. Now you could actually select the reference plane being the side of the part, but by showing the origin we can actually select the origin face like so, and as you can see, if we go the top view, the plane is now at a nice 0-degree angle. And then we click OK, and now we have this plane here, and I'm just going to rename that split plane. You don't have to rename that. I don't like leaving the names of the objects in Fusion 360 without something useful. Okay, so now that we've created this split plane, we've got something to draw onto. that is obviously tangent to the cylinder. So we go up to sketch, create sketch, and place it on the split plane surface. Here we go. What we're going to do is draw essentially a bounding rectangle where the cylinder face is, so that we now know these are the circumference of the cylinder. And then we go to sketch line, and in the middle we're going to create a single continuous notch, which will be our split. And as you can see, we've got nicely defined 90-degree angles, and that's important when you're 3D printing, at least on an FDM printer, because it's going to give you the cleanest surface area and therefore the best join. So I'll just dimension things correctly, so we're just going to make an arbitrary value of 4. I'm pressing the D key here, the shortcut for the dimension tool. We'll make that 4, and we'll probably make this 4 as well. That looks okay. And so the square shape as well is quite important, because it means that you've got, if you were to make it just a flat surface, for example, it's going to move all over the place as you glue it, and it's obviously you don't want the two faces of the cylinder not being aligned correctly. So this nice square notch, not only does it print better, it also enables an easy alignment as you join the parts together. Okay, so we've got our split there now, and as I said before, it's important to have a continuous line, because we're going to be using a construction, so not a construction, we're going to be using the split body tool, and we'll be splitting along that line. So we'll stop the sketch, go up to, modify, split body. Obviously the body to split is the cylinder, or the entire model in this case, and the splitting tool will be that continuous line there. And as you can see, Fusion 360 has made a nice little modelling of the split through the entire cylinder, and by default the extend splitting tool option is checked. In this case it doesn't make much difference. So we click on OK, and now as you can see we have two models here. So we have these two halves, and if I'll just hide that half, now you can see what the join looks like. Nice, clean, sharp angles. And there you have it. So you could call this spool part A, and spool part B, whatever you want to name it. And obviously when you print it, you'll print it from the flange side on the bed. In this example I printed the parts using a green PETG, and the final result, as you can see here, the parts slot together easily, and it just requires some 5-minute epoxy glue to bond them in place, ready for the spool to be put to use.